All right, good evening, students. Okay, so let's begin. Today, it's a pleasure to be with you again. And well, as you can remind, yesterday we were learning and we were discussing the third task of the speaking section in the TOEFL exam. And well, as we had said yesterday, what we're going to do today is just to practice for this task because this is super practical, right? We have to understand how this works, and the best manner to do that is by practicing. Okay, so today we're going to do exactly the same that we did with the second task. Every single one of you is going to respond today, so please grab your piece of paper. Please have your pens near to you because we're going to be responding to all these questions. Okay. All right, that's it. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen with you. And by the way, the document that I promised you yesterday, the one with all this material for the third task, I am going to send it to you today. I did not want to do it yesterday because I did not want you to come here with all the the readings already done and with all the practices already done. So there are some extra practices in this document that I'm going to send you. So you're going to have the opportunity to practice even more. Okay, so that I'm going to do it when we finish this class. But for today, meanwhile, let's get into our Magoosh account here. All right, wonderful. So let's go to the speaking section, task number 3. And we're going to get to the first task. Okay. So let's go with this one. I remind that we were practicing this one with Carlos last week. But nevertheless, I think that it's going to be cool to repeat it again. Okay, so please, as you remind, we're going to do it simply. I'm going to paste it here. You're going to have your 45 seconds to read it. And after that, we're just simply going to go to the timer. Okay, so please be ready. You're going to have your 45 seconds to read. So please begin reading now. Okay, your time's up. And now please let's listen to a talk on the same topic. Pictographs. Let's go.
Now listen to a lecture in an art history class.
You might be surprised at how close the link between those ancient symbols and our current writing systems actually is. Let me show you some really neat examples from the Roman alphabet to illustrate. Take the letter A. It looks kind of like a triangle with 2 sticks underneath it, right? Well, those sticks used to actually be horns on a drawing of a bull. A started out as an ancient Egyptian pictograph of a bull's head. This naturally stood for the word bull or a similar creature, but over generations, the eyes and other details on the bull's head disappeared, until the head just looked like a triangle, and the horns just looked like sticks. Voila. The next example is a bit more distorted, but the letter E has a very similar story. This one started out as a stick figure, an image of a person praying. A line down the middle represented the legs, body, and head, and then 2 arms extended out on either side. But over time, the symbol was rotated. A rotation like that is pretty common historically, and a part of the image was lost. Now, the 3 horizontal strokes of the E, those are what's left of the 2 arms and the head of that person in prayer.
Using examples from the talk, explain how pictographs changed to become modern writing.
All right, wonderful. So, I think there was somebody who just got into, but nevertheless, don't worry. We're going to continue practicing, so there are going to be a lot of materials. Okay, so please, students, don't forget to have your cameras on. By the way, you know that is necessary. So please, let's go now to the 30 seconds of preparation. The one that is going to begin these responses for this round is going to be, let me see here. It's going to be, well, Jessica. Jessica is going to be the first one to respond. So please be ready, Jessica. You're going to be the first one, and the others are going to continue in the order that I can see you, okay? So wonderful. Okay, so please, every single one of you begin to prepare your response now. Okay, your time's up. So now please, Jessica, have your microphone ready and begin to deliver your response now.
Well, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of pictograph. About the scholars believe that pictograph is independently in many different parts of the world. For example, in the Middle East, in China, or in Mesoamerica. And that's all.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jessica. It's fine. Don't worry. Okay. So let's continue then with Carlos. Carlos, please, could you help us have your microphone on?
Okay,
And
teacher.
please begin to. Oh yeah, for sure, Carlos. So begin to deliver your response now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of pictographs. The pictograph expresses ideas, and they are the earliest artwork. This is a form of writing. And there are many different types. Ones are discovered, for example, in Mesopotamia or also in Egypt. Likewise, in the listening passage, the speaker was mentioning two examples of pictographs. The first one was kind of a triangle with two sticks that looks like horns, bull horns. This was an Egyptian pictograph, but over generations, some details were disappearing. And in the second example, we have the bit, which is a person praying with arm extended to up. And these are both historical representations. I finished, teacher. Hello? Hello? Hello, hello. This is my internet. Hello, teacher, can you hear me? Hello?
Don't worry, Carlos. It was very good.
It was me. I thought that it wasn't me.
So students, I came back. I'm so sorry for what happened. I think it's, the fact that, for example, when I am my house, it's like divided into different sections, and when I go to that specific sections, like the internet begins to go wrong. But nevertheless, I have moved, and I think this place, the internet's way better, actually. So we're not gonna have that trouble anymore. Okay. So let's go. We were discussing, this specific. Carlos, by the way, I listened to your audio and it was perfect. I just wanted to say that. Very good. Very good.
Thank you, teacher.
All right, wonderful. But I listened to it. I managed to listen to it completely. And once you finish, it just disappeared. Like everybody, I was not able to see anybody, and my internet just cracked. Okay, wonderful. So now, Marines, you're gonna be the next one, please, to respond to the topic. So please, I'm going to give you a minute. Have your microphone ready, and please begin to respond now.
In the reading passage, we've been immersed in the topic of pictographs, known as the earliest form of writing. Also now, they are known to be the basis of the modern writing system. These pictographs also often represent an idea, a word, but now it could be referred to concrete things. For example, likewise, in the listening passage, they told us about some examples of this, like, for example, the writing of a bull, which is made of a triangle and two sticks, and they were this started as a bull, but then it became to a symbol. Also, the way the letter E was born was another example of this.
Okay, thank you, Marina. It's okay. It's good response. Very good. Okay, so the next one is going to be Laura. Laura, were you present when we were having the materials? Can you respond?
Yes, I
All right.
have.
Okay, wonderful. So please begin to deliver your response then now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into pictographies that those are that represents many ideas, and even nouns or things. Those were it is believed that were discovered were discovered on Mesopotamia and Egypt, and it is believed that those pictography were developed in different parts of the world. Likewise, in the listening passage, um, um, said that many letters that maybe letters has history and many things that were meant the meaning or the or origin of those letters and nouns. That's all.
Wonderful. Very good, Laura. Very, very good. Thank you. Okay, now the next one is going to be Bonnie. Bonnie, please, could you have your microphone ready and please begin to deliver your response now.
Sorry, teacher, I didn't listen the passage.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Bonnie. Don't worry. For the other one, then. Miguel or Alvaro, does any of you listen to the passage and the reading? I mean, and read the reading passage?
No, teacher, sorry.
No, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's wonderful. Okay, so quick remarks. For example, Laura, very good, very, very good. In this case, for Laura would be just to maybe to speak a little bit louder. I was not able to like listen to it very, very, very good in the sense that I needed to listen to it a little bit louder, but it is okay, but very good with regard to the structure, how you took care of it, how you manage your times, you measure them, very good. Marines, equally very good. I think you're definitely not having any sort of, at this point, I have noticed that many of you, if not all of you, actually it's all of you, you don't have any trouble with the structure anymore. You're just struggling always with the time, and that is precisely what I want, because that matter of the time, it's something that you always improve by practicing. There's nothing that I can do in order to help you there. But with regard to the structure, how well you're measuring the time, your pronunciation, very good. I mean, all of you are doing a very good job. Okay, so let's move on to another one then. Now all the people who are here are going to be able to respond, because now you are all going to be able to listen to the talk and also to read the passage. So then let's go to this one, the decline of Greco-Roman ideals in art. So I'm going to paste this as well to the chat box, and you're going to have your 4 or 5 seconds to read it. Okay, there you have. Meanwhile, I'm going to go and bring some other papers because I'm running short of them. So please begin to read this passage now. Okay. Wonderful. So now, please, let's listen to the talk given by a professor on the same topic, okay? Let's go and learn about decline of the Greco-Roman ideals. Now, this is a topic that is very interesting to me. So I'm going to be taking
Now listen to part of a lecture in a class focusing on the history of modern art.
Now, scholars sometimes like to say that in the 20th century, art based on Greco-Roman ideals of beauty and physical perfection fell totally out of favor thanks to the work of pioneering critics like Roger Fry. But today, I'm going to argue that this is actually an oversimplification. Now, paintings in the 20th century certainly became more abstract than at any other time in history. But in some ways, this had nothing to do with the work of professional critics, like Roger Fry. I mean, I think it can be convincingly argued that the change in style was simply due to the invention of the camera. See, it was no longer necessary to turn to professional portrait painters to have one's picture taken. And for this reason, there was a gradual decrease in the number of students who went to painting school. It was simply no longer important to spend years mastering technical painting. And instead, it became possible to produce highly abstract works meant to express, well, ideas. However, many of these ideas still had to do with the age-old Greco-Roman ideals. For example, Manet's painting, Luncheon on the Grass, which is sometimes called the first modern painting, it actually used images originally copied from an ancient Roman coffin. Pablo Picasso, a great abstract artist, also created several paintings reacting to Greek mythology. And, to this day, advertisers and filmmakers often turn to Greco-Roman notions of beauty in order to entice audiences. In fact, many modern artists have reacted to too much abstraction in modern art and are returning to classical Greek and Roman themes in their work. So, the Greco-Roman tradition in art is far from dead.
Using the points and examples from the lecture, explain how artistic standards changed in the 20th century.
Okay. Wonderful. Very interesting topic, by the way, right? So please have your, okay, in this case, the person that is going to begin is going to be, well, Carlos, you're going to be the first one. So please You're gonna have your 30 seconds to prepare your response. Okay. So, but first of all, obviously, begin to prepare your response now. Wonderful. Time's up. And now please begin to deliver your response now.
In the written passage, we've been immersed into the topic of the decline Greco-Roman ideals in art. Before the 19th century, these ideas were the pinnacle of achievement and to represent the physical world as it aesthetic best. Likewise, in the listening passage, the woman is stating that these ideas were oversimplified and no any other paintings abstract would you say this? I got stuck, teacher.
Okay. No, that's fine. It's fine, Carlos. It's fine.
Okay, nothing to do. Also, it's a change of the style and the change of this is due to the change of the camera, and this is also a high abstract works, and as the main is painting that.
All right. No, wonderful. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Don't worry. Okay, so Laura, please, you're going to be the next one. Please have your microphone ready, Laura, and begin, please, to deliver your response now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of the change and characteristics of our work by the 20s, by the 20s, and those mentioned how was like the art, how was abstracted, or how people judge the art in that century. Likewise, in the listening passage, it says that in the 20s, the art were abstract that any other time and were like Greco-Roman ideas. But many people said that many ideas were like oversimplified and it reduced due to the invention of the camera. Those increased many art students and began a new era, and many modern artists now want to return those classics and Roman art. That's it.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. Okay. So now, please, the next one is going to be Marines. Marines, please have your microphone on and please begin to respond now.
In the reading passage, we've been immersed on the topic of decline of the Greco-Roman ideal of art. In the 19th century, the ideal of beauty was this exclusively Greco-Roman ideal. But in the 20th century, they changed due to the new philosophical views. So likewise, in the listening passage, we've been told that in the 20th, they were also based on the physical and beauty, but these paintings were more abstract and they were more judged for their impact in the ideas of it and emotions of the people. And also because they were, in this century, we were introduced to the camera, so many people could have changed and expressed this new way of art without being really an artist.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Marines. Very good. Bonnie, please, you're going to be the next one. So please have your microphone on, and now please begin to deliver your response now.
In the reading passage, we're immersed into the topic of the decline of the Greco-Roman art and ideals. Likewise, in the lecture, the professor further elaborates on this. Firstly, she explains that sorry, that in the 20th century, the admiration of Greco-Roman art declined and started to predominate the abstract art. This is due to the invention of the camera, and people not even study in the art school. Also, on the top of that, she she describes the sorry, I just don't understand whether I just right.
Right? It's fine. It's fine. But actually, a very good response, Bonnie. Your vocabulary, it's honestly striking. Very good. Okay, so Alvaro, Miranda, please. You're going to be the next one. Please have your microphone on and begin to deliver your response now.
Okay. In the reading passage mentioned that in 19th Greco-Roman ideals of beauty represent the pinnacle of achievement. However, in 20th century, the art changed significantly, but the ideals of Greco-Roman art continue in our time. Likewise, in the listening passage, the person says that the Greco-Roman idols beauty and the perfection. But in 20th century, the style changed, and now the paintings are simple compared to Greco-Roman art. However, the ideas are based of the Greco-Roman ideals. And this person mentioned about Pablo Picasso and his style. In our days, the Greco-Roman art is far of died because continue. Okay, that's all.
No, but very good, Alvaro. Very, very good, honestly. Okay, so Jessica, please, you're going to be the next one. So please begin to deliver your response now.
Well, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of the art, specifically in the basing on Greco-Roman ideals, because the art of Greco-Roman represent the physical world at its aesthetic best, but sometimes some ideas or emotion, it was an attractive abstraction, but the views concerning art significantly changed. Although some artistic works continue now to draw from Greco-Roman ideas. And that's all.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Jessica. Very good. So finally, Miguel Angel. Miguel Angel, you're going to be the next one. Okay, wonderful. So please begin to respond now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into Greco-Roman art on the early 19th century. Works of art with Greco-Roman ideals were seen as the best ones, but after the years, critics began to focus on the way that ideas and emotions were represented, and that created more styles of works of art. And likewise, in the listening passage, Greco-Roman ideals represented beauty and physical things, and then it became to change because works of art became more abstract, and this was due to the invention of the camera, because it made the Greco-Roman style unnecessary because it was easy to take pictures, and that's why it became more popular, the abstract art, and new ways to represent ideas. And there are pictures that are still use this. Oh, I am out of time.
Yeah, you ran out of time for a few seconds. No, but it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I did not want to interrupt you. You were doing very well.
Okay. Sorry.
So thank you very much, Miguel. Okay, wonderful. So few insights, few commentaries. Well, Carlos, in this case, you got a little bit confused. Nevertheless, it's okay. It happens to the best too. Nevertheless, for example, when if it happens to you that you forget some word, remind that it's not really appropriate to say, how do you say? I mean, that phrase of expressing that you have forgotten how to say something, you should never say it, not even here, because we're trying to practice it as it is going to be in the exam, right? So those phrases, expressing them, being honest, like in the sense that I have forgotten this. This is not the moment for being honest, okay? Although it sounds a little bit bad, ethically speaking, but it's not the moment to be honest. I mean, we're trying to convince these people that we do have proficiency, right? So whenever you forget something, whenever you are confused, stay silent. Like that doesn't convey anything, right? Because it's silence. It's like maybe you are thinking, trying to articulate your ideas. So if you don't remind something, if you have missed maybe your reasoning train, stop for a while and return, okay? Whenever you are ready. And that is going to be, well, a way in order for you to get over this specific response without any trouble. Okay, wonderful, but nevertheless, very good. So in this case, Laura Choque, very good response. In this case, you exceeded your time by a few seconds. You ran out of time just a little bit, but very good response. You know, as I said, the matter of measuring time, you're going to always improve it by practicing. So it's not a matter of anything that I could correct. It's just simply something that sometimes happens, but continue trying to measure your time, right, more appropriately. But that is my own recommendation. Bonnie, you know what I remarked from you, Bonnie, that you have a very good vocabulary. It's honestly, as I said, it's very advanced. It's like I listen to it and I easily listen to a professor talking. It's very good. You have a very flexible vocabulary that goes to this discipline, to this other one. So continue with that, because including those academic and somehow fancy words is going to increase your score. Obviously, whenever we listen to somebody who uses this type of expressions, we understand the person is very knowledgeable and whatever, right? So we're trying to convey that. Very good, Bonnie, with that regard. Okay, very, very good. Alvaro, very good fluency. You move on smoothly through your response. You know exactly where to stop when you're in the reading passage. Once you have finished to state that, you simply move on as if nothing had happened. Very good. I honestly, your transition is super fluent. I don't even feel that you stop. It's super good. So continue with that fluency. Like continue with the same reasoning train, using these transitions that I have taught you, because that is the reason why we use this, right? Likewise, or to begin with, we have immersed into this. Likewise, furthermore, moreover, that gives you that sense of connection, right? So those transitions, remind that I have sent to the WhatsApp group some weeks ago a video of how you should practice these connectors in our website of Executive English. So you go to our website and you're going to find there's some exercises of connectors, right? And these connectors, the reason why they're very important is because they help you to have that sensation of connection throughout your response. And I think that is one of the of this of well one strength that Albert has, that he's super fluent. Very good. Jessica, as well, very, very good. You're improving a lot. Try to keep an eye on words like ideals, aesthetically, but you know that is a matter of practice. But very good, you're improving a lot. And Miguel as well. As I said, I did not want to interrupt you because you were doing pretty well, but you just ran out of time a little bit. But nevertheless, you can improve that by practicing, by measuring exactly at what point to stop, knowing that you're going to have more time later. But very good, okay? Very, very good. Okay, wonderful. So let's move on to another one. We have a lot of material, okay? In this case, let's go to this video here I have prepared for you. We're going to go to this one. Okay, now, but in this case, let's go into another one from Magush before we get into those. Because these Magush ones are a little bit more handy. Okay, so I'm going to paste this one. In this case, it's altruism in animals. Apparently, that can be done. It's possible. So we're going to see that. Okay, please read it. You're going to have your 4 or 5 seconds here. Please begin to read, dear students, now. Wonderful. Time's up. And please now let's listen to a talk on the same topic.
Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you've just read about.
The idea that altruism is a uniquely human characteristic that cannot be found in nature might be popular among certain philosophers, but it really has little basis in fact. Actually, altruism is relatively common in the animal kingdom. Well, for example, in certain families of squirrels, when a predator, say like a fox, comes around, the squirrels are known to shriek out to warn their family members about the danger, even if the noise makes them targets for the predator. Similarly, when a herd of, say, wildebeests is attacked, well, stronger members of the pack will try to trample the threat rather than let the young and weak get picked off, even if this subjects them to danger. So what is the reason for all of this? Evolutionarily speaking, it seems like a puzzle, right? I mean, why would evolution favor the development of altruistic behaviors that might endanger individual life? The answer is it's a bit complicated, but essentially the answer is that by protecting the entire community, including several relatives, the altruistic animal ensures that the community's genes as a whole can still be passed on. Well, in other words, if a single squirrel dies after, say, shrieking at a fox, but the entire community is spared, well, that means that from a collective perspective, the community's fitness is increased by having altruistic behaviors associated with its members.
Using the points and examples given in the lecture, explain how altruism may be a beneficial characteristic for some animals.
All right. Very interesting, right? Okay, so let's go. The first one now it's going to be Jessica. Jessica, you're going to be the first one, please. Oh, no, you were the first one already, right? Okay, so Miguel Angel. Miguel Angel, you're going to be the first one. So please begin to prepare your response to your students now. Okay, time's up. So please, Miguel Angel, have your microphone ready and please begin to deliver a response now.
Okay. In the reading passage, we've been immersed into altruism. Altruism is referred as the urge to help others, even if it's dangerous for the one who does it. And likewise, and it might be seen as something that is common in humans, but it's also seen with animals, which is something strange for people to think. I'm just okay. Likewise, in the listening passage, altruism might be something human for someone, but it's more commonly on the animals, on animals, like squirrels. And they advise their family if something is dangerous, even though they are risking their lives. But why is this? Essentially, is because by protecting the community, and it's safe. By protecting the community, it's safer to keep the genes through generations than just one life. I just got confused. Sorry.
Okay, it's fine, Miguel. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So let's move on. Bonnie, please. You're going to be the next one. Turn your microphone on and please begin to deliver your response now.
In the reading passage, we immerse into the topic of altruism in animals, which is the urge to selflessly help others, even if it costs, even if self-cost. Likewise, in the lecture, the professor elaborates on this. First of all, she explains that this is not as weird as it sounds for humans, and it's very common in animals. She provides two examples. First, a family squirrel and a wolf's pack. Moreover, she describes that this is a puzzle of evolution, and the possible response would be that protect the community, ensure that the individual who out
Okay, don't worry, Bonnie. It's fine.
yeah.
It happened to the best, Bonnie. Don't worry, it's fine. Okay, so Alvaro Miranda, please, let's continue. You're going to be the next one, so please have your microphone ready and deliver your response now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of altruism in animals. Talk about the behavior of altruism animals that sacrifice their lives to protect the community. Logically, these animals can die more frequently. However, the alternatives exist to positive reasons of evolution. Likewise, in the audio mentioned that actually the altruism is common in the nature, and it's common to see animals protect their communities, and that is all.
All right. Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you very much. Okay, Laura, please, you're going to continue. Have your microphone ready and please begin to deliver a response now. Now.
Okay, in the reading passage, we've been immersed into altruism behavior with animals and humans, and said that it's common to see those behaviors in humans, but in animals it is not all those species like ones could be more selfish than others, and those animals with altruism behavior could die more than the selfish animals, and it could be evolutionary. Likewise, in the listening passage, it is common for animal kingdoms to see those altruism behavior, even in those the predators, but most animals protect their communities, and that's all.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. Laura? Marines, please. You're going to be the next one. Begin to respond now.
In the reading passage, we've been immersed in the topic of altruism in animals, even though it between humans is a very fairly common action. It's not really so common in the animal kingdom, but you can see these selfless actions often. Like we could see in a listening passage, we receive an example of squirrels that they help each other to protect from the predators and to protect the younger members of the group in order to save the community. Also, this could have a very, this could mean a very good example of the purpose in evolution, that is to protect the whole community, even though if it's risking the life of one of the members in order to protect the rest.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Marines. Very good. Okay, now Jessica, please, could you continue? Okay, so Jessica, please begin to deliver your response now.
In the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of altruism, about the humanity and animals. In animals, it's not common than the humans because many are surprised to see them carried out by other species. For example, an animal that behave altruistically would theoretically die more often than those that acted selfishly. But it's I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Jesse. Don't worry. It's fine. Okay. So, Carlos, you're the last one. Please
Now,
respond now.
in the reading passage, we've been immersed into the topic of altruism. It refers to the urge to selflessly help others. Animals that behave altruistically die before than the ones that act selfishly, but still they exist in many species. Based on the previous information and likewise in the listening passage, and the professor states that altruism is related also to the animal realm. For example, the squirrels, and when they see a predator as a fox, like a fox as an example, and they streak out to warn their family, even if they make noise and put them in danger. And this is like namely, there are species that prefers to save rather than abandon one. And this is like a puzzle, and it might endanger the species, but the answer to this is very complicated. But still, the professor thinks that I'll finish.
All right. No, it's fine. It's fine, Carlos. Very well. Okay. So, for example, in this case, we have Miguel Angel. Very good. I mean, I like how you dealt with your blunder. It was very good. You didn't make a great deal of it. You just move on. Very good. I think maybe in this case, Miguel Angel, the reason why you're running out of time is because you're spending too much time on the reading passage. Remind that this part specifically, this material should not be that much advanced, nor should not be that much considered in your response. You should not include much of its information or data into your response because it's preferable to include what the listening said. That is to say, what the professor was clarifying or complementing in the lecture. Okay, so I think that is going to help you. Try to reduce your time. Try to reduce it a little bit on the reading passage. Try to be more general because this is just the introduction. Because the real stuff comes in the lecture. How is it that the professor explains that, right? So try to specify and try to emphasize a little bit more on that. But very good. But in this case, I think very, very interestingly, in this case, what refrains you sometimes from responding is that, well, I think this is my perception, maybe I'm wrong, but you try to make it so advanced. That is to say, sometimes keeping it simple, it's fine. It is not necessary to always include this advanced vocabulary that you have that makes your responses, well, like very good, right? But nevertheless, if you keep it simple, like including this specific advanced words, whenever they come out to you fluently and naturally, that is going to be okay. And that is going to make it. You're going to nail this section, even practicing this specific behavior that I tell you, to respond simply, not to force your advanced words. And whenever this comes to you naturally, then you throw them out. Okay, but very good response as always. Alvaro, equally very good response. Keep an eye on the word altruism. Altruism is the way that you should pronounce it. Altruism, but the response very good. Like, I mean, very well balanced, very well articulated, very good. Laura, exactly the same. I don't have any commentary. Very good, very, very good response. The same case for Marina's, very good response. Jessica, keep an eye on words like immersed, like we have been immersed, not necessarily immersed. Altruistically, like altruistically, it's not necessary to to pronounce altruistically, but altruistically, like to abbreviate it. I don't know how to express it, but you have to basically abbreviate that, altruistically. And I would say as well that you are paying too much attention on the reading passage. That is to say, if you shorten your response and include more information with regard to the listening part with the lecture, then your response is going to be way more smooth because you're going to move more quickly from the introduction to the listening part, okay? So try to include a little bit more of information with regard to the talk and not too much from the reading passage, because as I say, it's not really, I mean, the reading passage is not difficult to comment on that, because you just can, as I say, while you're reading, you can copy all the words just as they have been launched, and you can repeat that. Your viewer knows that. But nevertheless, if you talked about the listening, you are demonstrating that you are able to speak English proficiently, okay? But very good response. Carlos, equally, very good response. In this case, I mean, if you run out of time, it's just because you had a lot to say, but nevertheless, good. As I say, this is a matter of practice and knowing what to include. Remind that, for example, last class I suggested you that whenever you have a lecture with a lot of points, with a lot of information and data, so that you don't have the necessary and sufficient time to include everything, try to choose those topics which you have, by listening and paying attention to the lecturer, identify as being the central and elementary topics. For example, in this case, the elementary topics, I mean, for example, something that you repeated consistently was how the professor believed this was puzzling. That is to say that this explanation in order to understand how altruism works in animals was puzzling. Right, she mentioned that. But nevertheless, if you pay attention to how she said that, it was just a super momentary commentary. Like she went through it super quickly because it was not something elementary to the discussion. But you, for example, if you pay attention to the lecturer, you are going to discover that what she emphasized, what was the first example of this squirrels and the examples of the wolves. So if you had emphasized way more on those specific points, and you had forgotten, and you had basically dispensed with the information about how puzzling this explanation may be for scientists, then you will have had time in order to implement and to complete your response. So try to get rid of those topics which you know are not really necessary, elementary, okay? That is going to help a lot. Wonderful, but very good response too. Okay, so we are running out of time completely. So as you know, it's traditional, the poll and the assistance, please. Stay with me. We have to, I need to take your assistance because you want to get your certificate, right? We need to have that in its due order. Okay, so I'm going to call, please, your name. Tell me if you're present here. First of all, Rivero Maria Fernanda. Well, I think she has never come, actually. So not here. What about Carlos Caballero?
Hello, teacher. I'm here.
Wonderful. Yes. Perfect. Marines Genesis.
Here, teacher.
Wonderful. Thank you. Carolina. Conicia. Okay, Carolina is not here today. What about Yandira Lucit? Okay, it's not here. Bonnie Daira.
Here, teacher.
Wonderful, thank you. And what about Claudia, Patricia, Jennifer? Okay, Laura Mamani, Choque.
Present, teacher.
Wonderful, thank you very much. What about Chayapa, Álvaro Miranda?
Here, teacher.
Thank you. Jessica Gutierrez.
Here, teacher.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And finally, Silva Plata Miguel Angel, seeing you. Okay, wonderful. You are here too. Okay, so thank you very much, dear students. Next week, we're going to get into another section. Oh no, actually, we're going to continue, right, with the speaking section, but with the fourth task, which is going to be actually super interesting because you're not going to be required to read anything else, but you're just going to exercise the how can you take your notes on the lecture you're going to listen to, and how can you respond just with the information received on that specific material. So you're going to, by that, I think that many of you are going to improve a lot because you're going to get used to pay more attention to the lecture than the written passage. Okay, so see you next week, and I am going to send right now the document to your WhatsApp group. Practice this task whenever you want. There you're going to have the, yeah. Yep.
Teacher, I'm sorry, my internet was very slow. You called.
Yeah, yeah, I accept. I noticed you. I noticed you. So don't worry. I included you in the present students today. Okay. Thank you, Miguel Angel. Okay. So Carlos.
Teacher, one question: are we going to have this 4 tags for the speaking session? I mean, the speaking test. For you?
Yes.
Well, okay. Thank you.
Definitely. Yes. Okay. So thank you very much. See you next class. Okay.